Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ram Suratkumar, Yogi Ram Suratkumar, Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Rama 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 Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Yogi Ramsuratkumar Jaya Guru Raya Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram. Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Ram, Rama 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 Bhagwan Shri Yogi Ramsuratkumar ki jai. Sarvam Yogi Ramsuratkumar Padhavastu. Let us offer our grateful pranams for this session of Namasakirtan that we have been able to sing for 1 hour, especially the auspicious Sandhya Kal, the evening twilight. We have offered the Nama lotuses, the Nama flowers at his feet. Now before we offer our prayer, today's prayer at his feet, we shall see how important this faith is. Faith in the words of the great master, faith in the words of God. There was a saint who was very, very devoted to Krishna. And he was doing Bhagavad Gita all the time. He was reading all through the day. Bhagavad Gita, very devoted to Shri Krishna. All the 24 hours, he was thinking of Krishna. Now, as he was going through Bhagavad Gita, his wife came and said, all the time you are drowned in the thought of Krishna. That's fine. But then do you know, we have nothing at all to eat, not even enough flour and oil to make one chapati. We have come to such a pathetic state of poverty. You are not even aware. What shall we do? Will your Krishna help us? You are doing Bhagavad Gita all the time. Now why? Krishna is not helping us. When she raised that question, the saint, the sadhu, was a little disturbed, because just when she was complaining, he was reading a verse in Bhagavad Gita which said, those who are very devoted to me, Lord Krishna says, those who are very devoted to me, I shall look after what they already have and procure what they do not have. So you see, he's promising yoga, the wealth, and kshemam. He's promising to look after the wealth they already have and also procure what they do not have. So as he was reading this, his wife came and complained there was nothing at all to eat. Now what shall they do? Immediately, he began to develop a doubt. The verse says that he will look after the health that we already possess and procure what we do not possess. Now, is this verse genuine? Was it spoken by Lord Krishna himself? Or was it inserted later on? We have seen in scriptures and in other literature, ancient literature, there are insertions by other authors, interpolations. Now, is this verse true? Did it really come from the mouth of Krishna? In which case, why are we suffering like this? We have lost everything. Whereas Krishna promises to look after what we already have. And he says he will procure what we do not have. Neither of it is happening. So it could be that this verse was inserted later on by somebody and it did not come straight from the mouth of Krishna. So he underlined the two lines. He went to the bank of the river, sat there, and started contemplating on this. Again and again, the doubt kept recurring, and he was helpless before that. Again and again he was asking Krishna, Krishna, is this true? Is this a word that you have committed or someone else? I have my own doubts. I have no faith in this couplet. So this is what he kept telling himself. He was unable to go further. That day, he was not able to read through the whole thing as he was doing the other days. His wife's voice kept ringing in his ears. Now in the meantime, his wife was there in the house, very worried about the condition of the house. Now for 2 or 3 days, they did not have anything at all to eat. Whatever little they had, they've exhausted. Now, that particular day, it's complete starvation. Here, my husband is devoted to Krishna, and he keeps reading Bhagavad Gita day after day after day. But then Krishna is not doing anything. So when she was very anxious, worried, suddenly she heard a knock at the door. She opened and she saw, to her great surprise, wonder and thrill, a boy, a very beautiful boy, very radiant, very handsome, standing there with many bags full of things. She didn't know who he was. So she asked him. He said that Maharaj, who is sitting on the bank of the river, he sent me to give you these provisions. Then she knew it was her husband who sent him, because that morning she had complained. She could not wait anymore and finally made her complaint. She was very happy that her husband had sent this boy with all the provisions. So she invited him inside. And then she wanted to give him at least a cup of water because that was all they possessed. She said, please wait. I would like to give you something, but all I have is only a cup of water. Please accept it. You have done a great job. You have come all the way from my husband carrying the sticks. Please take some water. She ran inside, and then when she brought the glass of water, handed over to this boy, she saw the wound. This boy was stabbed, and there was blood oozing out of it. It was an open wound, must have been very painful. She was shocked. She said, "Who did that to you? You're such a nice boy. You're so sweet and you've carried all these provisions. They're so heavy and you've done this great job for us. But who has done this? How did you get stabbed? You see, the blood is coming out." And then the boy smiled and said, "Oh, this is your husband, that Maharaj, sitting there on the bank reading Bhagavad Gita. It is he who did the stabbing. It's okay." And then he drank the water. So she went inside to look for something. When she came, she just turned and the boy disappeared. She came out and looked for him here and there. There was no trace of him. She felt very bad because the boy had chosen to help her husband to carry all the provisions. And this is what her husband had done to him. How could he do that? And it was not in his nature to do such a thing. And yet, he had done it. How did it happen? Now, there was a stream of thoughts she could not help having. In the meantime, her husband finished reading Bhagavad Gita and then again very contemplative of the 2 lines, again and again asking Krishna, "Krishna, it cannot be the lines from your mouth because you have not carried out the promise, which means you have not made the promise at all. Then how did these lines get into Bhagavad Gita?" Thinking and thinking, he finally reached the house. He knew there was nothing at all to eat. He decided he would have a cup of water and then settle down to continue his remembrance of Krishna. As soon as she entered, his wife was very excited. She started to tell him excitedly, "Why have you done this? What have you done to that boy? Why did you stab him?" He did not know what she was talking about. And then she conveyed everything that happened. And as she was describing, the sadhu, the saint, knew instantly, immediately, that it must have been Krishna himself who brought all the provisions. Just as he's promised in those 2 lines. He would procure, he would secure what his devotee does not possess. So that is true. And then why the stabbing? He said, "Look, I never sent anybody. Where was money to buy all those provisions? And I did not stab anybody. And you are saying all these things." And then he said, "Don't you see? It is Krishna himself. Our Lord Krishna has come. And you are so fortunate to have darshan of him. The sinner that I am, because I was doubting, I lost faith in those lines. And see what happened. That stabbing is nothing but my loss of faith in his words." Now this story has a great treasure of teaching to give us. Whenever we lose faith in the words of the Master, in his teachings, it is equivalent to stabbing him, causing a wound. The Lord really gets hurt. He starts to bleed. What a very strong way of saying it. Our lack of faith will wound our Master. The Master bleeds at times when we lose our faith in him. Our Bhagwan has promised many things. He said, just call out, Yogi Ramsuratkumar. My father will rush help to you. And he has been rushing help to all those people who called out with their entire being. But if there were people who doubted this promise and did not do their part with devotion or commitment, it's possible that they did not get help immediately. There was no rushing of help. But let us learn that Bhagwan has been fulfilling his promise, and we have been hearing stories one after the other every day for the past 1 year and 9 months, how Bhagwan came to the rescue of people in distress, how he guided people who were in confusion, and how he protects all of us all the time. So beware, whenever we doubt the words of the Master, we are wounding him, we are stabbing him. Let us have complete faith in the words of the Master. He will definitely protect, look after what we already have and provide us with what we do not possess, what we need but do not possess. Of course, he will provide for our need but not for our greed. That we should remember. We have been seeing that we should not complain, we should not grumble about anything, because God is already providing us with what we need. So for those who are thinking of our Bhagwan all the time, those who are devoted to him all the time, those who call out his name all the time, Bhagwan is fulfilling our needs. So let us keep up this faith in the words of our great Master. Let us keep up the faith in all his teachings. He says, if you want to be happy, you have to make the Lord happy, and to make the Lord happy is to chant his name. He says, not a single Nama goes waste. And he says, Nama chanting is prayer, Nama chanting is surrender, Nama chanting is samadhi. How many assurances! So let us have faith, unshakable faith in his words and follow his instructions to the letter. And let us remember his assurance again, do only as much as you can, the rest will be seen by my Father. So let us try and do as much as we can. We shall now submit our today's prayer at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Bhagwan, we beg you, again and again we continue to beg you for your immediate divine intervention to free the whole humanity from the grip of these virulent viruses that affect both the body and the mind. We beg you, Bhagwan, to bring back normalcy everywhere in all aspects of life. We also beg you to uproot, to wipe out all the negativities of the mind, our anger, frustration, sorrow, fear turning into panic, and desires multiplying and turning into needs. We beg you to wipe them out. We are unable to do it ourselves, and we are trying to think of your name all the time. We pray to you again and again for unbroken remembrance of your name, remembering all that you have promised. We beg you to be fine instruments, good instruments in your hands, not be caught by the temptations of the Maya, so that we could run our everyday life as an offering to you. And Bhagwan, we beg for all those unselfish people who are working hard for the sake of the others, despite their own discomfort, despite the challenges that they meet with. And finally, we seek that supreme blessing for that ultimate truth, the ultimate state of Ananda, for which we need complete purification. Please prepare us for that state so that we could see your living, vibrant presence everywhere, in everything, and all the time. We also beg you to bless us with that faculty with which we could see your sankalpa, your will, and your leelas in all the happenings of life. And we beg you, more importantly than others, to be able to see your hidden grace, even in the most ruinous sufferings of life, knowing that they are the effects of our past karmas, and yet, compassionate as you are, you have put some blessing also into it, so that it would push us towards you for closer kinship. And the suffering itself is meant for our spiritual growth. We could think of you more deeply. We could realize how helpless we are. All that we hold as security in life, money, power, people, they have proved themselves as useless. And we are reduced to utter helplessness. And only your grace can support us. We beg you again and again for that preparation of mind where we would be able to accept every adversity as a blessing in disguise and be grateful to you for that. And Bhagwan, we beg for all the species of the universe, in whatever state of being they are, to be free from that state of misery and be lifted to a higher plane. And finally, we beg and beg million times for that ultimate state of being, for oneness with the universal you, the eternal being. But that can happen only when we are freed from the tyranny of our ego, only when we are liberated from the cycle, the vicious cycle of births and deaths. We beg you again and again for that eternal living in you, the eternal entity. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.